Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sons of Mjolnir. As always, I am one of your hosts, Fat Thor, and today we welcome back one of the key players of the show, my beautiful co-host, Cap. Cap is back. It has been a long time coming. Cap, my buddy, my friend. How you doing today, man? Welcome back to the show. I feel like I'm like interviewing you, but you are a host on this show, man. It's just been a long time. How you doing? Tell the people at home how you've been.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. A wee bit nervous coming back on, first time in the spotlight again. Other than that, I'm pretty good, man. I'm now
Shit.
officially a house owner, so that's a
Oh,
big thing.
let's go, dude. Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Major congratulations on that.
thank you, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I've just been not wasting my time, but I've just been talking comic book stuff. Cap's been out here doing real life, adult grown up stuff. So cheers off to him. While we've missed him, we've missed you so much, buddy. I'm again just so super glad for you and happy for you for all the things you got going on in real life and not in the virtual space. But again,
Thank you.
just so happy, excited to have you back. And today we are going to be talking about some really great stuff, some things that we've been reading, things that we've been loving, just a good old fashioned comic book nerd out session. So, to start it off, though, like I said, it's been a while since you've been on the show, and I just want to, catch up a little bit, tell the people what's going on, obviously in personal life, but in the comic book realm. What have you been reading? I know you are keeping up with what we're going to be talking about today, but other than that, what are you reading? What have you been loving lately?
Loving, that's a tough question to be fair. I not necessarily loving much at the minute because I haven't delved too deeply into much. Um, I've been sort of keeping up with the cap issue or the cap run at the minute, but I wouldn't say I'm loving it, man. It's nothing special. It's semi decent to put it nicely.
Dude,
It passes time.
I totally forgot about this. So this is going to add a little bit. We didn't even talk about this before the show. I'm just throwing it out in conversation now because we have to talk at least a little bit about the cap run because we messaged back and forth a little bit about it, but I want to dive a little deeper into that because I am feeling the exact same way. And this is no diss to, Michael J. Straczynski. I always get, have trouble pronouncing that. But
I'm glad you tried it, man, because I
yeah,
butcher names.
MJS, dude, MJS. But again, I'm a big fan of his. I think he is a brilliant writer. And I think that still holds true with this run. It is written beautifully. Like, again, the writing is not bad by any means. It's a really great written story. I am just not like, I'm just really kind of getting burnt out a little bit on it. I really enjoyed the beginning issues of Cap just kind of helping out people in the apartment and trying to do better there and just kind of being your friendly neighborhood Steve. I really enjoyed that. But now we're like, for all those out there watching and listening that maybe aren't keeping up with the run, currently we're in this kind of whole thing where Cap is teamed up with, we don't really get an explanation of who she is, but it's like
Yeah,
basically like the embodiment of like goodness, I guess you could, at least how I'm kind of reading it, at least. And she's tasked Captain America with like gathering a team of other superpowered people, some mutants, things of that nature, to battle basically the embodiment of darkness. So like so she's like good, and her brother is like again the embodiment of like evil, darkness, bad stuff. And again, it's like I like the concept is cool, but it's just getting too much in the weeds for me. And something I want to ask you and get your deeper thoughts on is, for me, the whole like, so like this whole like goodness angel lady, right? Whatever she is. I feel like Cap was just so quick to be like, okay, I'll do whatever you say. And like
yeah.
he is just like her like lapdog in these last couple, like just does whatever she says, doesn't question her at all. And to me, again, I don't want to, you're more of the expert, which is why I want to get your thoughts on this. But to me, I just feel like Cap, yes, he's okay, like he can take orders when the situation calls for it, right? But he's just like blindly following this lady. And like I do not have good vibes about who this lady, right? It feels like there's ulterior motives there, and it just feels like he's not questioning any of this. So what are your what how do you feel about that? Again, knowing more about like Steve as a character. Am I out of line here?
No, I do agree. I would, yeah, he's definitely jumped the gun and trusting her anyway. There was more or less no hesitation there. But I don't know about there being ulterior motives. It feels like it's setting up that way, but I also don't. I think that's too on the nose for us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
But definitely too quick to trust. It's I don't know. The run, like you said, it's a well written run, but it's just hard to connect with the Steve. Like it doesn't feel very Steve, if that makes sense.
I think that's a really great way to put it. Like it's hard to relate to this version of Steve because he's, basically fighting angels and demons and stuff, which it's like if you just told me that tagline, like Captain America's fighting angels and demons, like fuck yeah, dude, let's go. But again, it's just like very, which again is like this does go into Straczynski's writing. This is kind of his style, but very kind of going deep into the nuance of things, like symbolism, things of that nature, which I usually love. But again, just in this particular case, it's just getting a little too in the weeds for me. I kind of want to get back to just Cap doing adventures and, fighting a little, not, I don't want to necessarily say street level, but again, I really enjoyed him being back in Brooklyn, being in the neighborhood and like
Yeah,
being more of a presence there. And I love, which I feel like we haven't gotten much in the last couple issues. But one of my favorite parts of this run starting out were the flashbacks of him as a kid and like paralleling that to what is going on currently and like diving deeper into who Steve is. Like I remember when I was at Comic-Con last year, I heard Straczynski talk about this run. And one of the main points that really interests me was he talked about how, obviously we know Steve got this the serum in, whatever year it was. I'm sure but and then he went to World War I, and got trapped in the ice, blah 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 blah. But or World War II, sorry. But we don't really know a lot about his life prior to the serum. Like we only know kind of very vague things of like he was sickly and kind of, weak as a child,
yeah,
but he really wanted to dive into that and like explore that period of Steve's life, which I again absolutely love. And I think he did that amazingly in the first two issues. But it kind of feels like that all that has taken a major backseat.
yeah. That was actually one of my favorite things about Spencer's run as well. Although it may have been us seeing Steve grow into being Captain Hydra, but the flashbacks and showing us his past was still one of my favorite things about that run. So I definitely agree with you that the flashbacks in the early years of Steve in this run definitely the best part of it.
Yeah, I again, that's really how I'm feeling about the run, and I will also admit that I could have a little bias here just because I was such a big fan of uh Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly's previous run, and not only that, but the adjoining Sam Wilson Captain America run, and like the whole Cold War event with both writers coming together, and like I really loved that, and obviously we had the absolute great opportunity of talking to Jackson and Colin about that run. So again, I am a big fan of those guys. I'm a big fan of that run. So I will admit that maybe I do have a little bias just because I would have loved to see their run continue longer. But again, trying to look at it as objectively as possible. Again, just it's just not hitting too much for me, which is I think fine. It's everything's not for everybody, and I think that's okay, right?
Yeah, 100%. Uh, I th I actually think it was you that messaged me last Comic Con explaining what Straczynski had said during his panel or whatever you want to
Hmm.
call it, um, detailing what he was going to do, and it sounded unreal. Um, the whole supernatural aspect of it sounded great because personally, I do like Steve battling with supernatural, the likes of vampires and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
this one, I don't know. It's just it doesn't feel right. It
Hmm.
doesn't feel Steve.
Yeah. But I will say too, I mean, we talk about this all the time on the show, and we've mentioned it for, numerous titles I think this applies to. I still I want to see where it goes. I'm a firm believer
Oh,
in,
100%.
letting the writers cook. And while right now I may be, not feeling it as much as I was in the beginning, I want to see where it goes. Because again, I think Straczynski is a great, great writer. And by the way, I mispronounced his name earlier. J. Michael Straczynski, not Michael J. Straczynski. But again, he's an amazing writer, so I want to see how he ties it together, and I feel like then I can properly judge it. And then if it still doesn't hit, after it's all revealed, then we can, kind of talk about how
Yeah,
it kind of fell flat or whatever. But right now we're in the middle of it, so I want to give Straczynski all the benefit of the doubt because again, he's a great writer. So, again, always let writers cook. Don't, write them off so quickly. I always believe in, and I do want to, before we get off of this, because we got to get to our other topic, but I do want to shout out and highlight Jesus Saiz. I hope I'm saying that right. Saiz. His art in this run is absolutely incredible. And while, the story is kind of losing me a bit, the art is always issue by issue absolutely top notch. So I want to end Matt Hollingsworth, again, hope I'm saying that right, on the colors, because again, just absolutely fantastic work. That's one of the major things I'm loving about the run.
I think that's actually probably the one of the things that's actually just keep me in it at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's the writing's. I wouldn't say the writing's fallen off, but it's not gripping me as it did.
I don't think the
So at
writing, it's just like the story. It's again just like the concept of the story. At least for me, that's what's losing me, not the writing itself.
yeah, like it definitely has potential to be a fantastic run. It's just, I guess you could call it teething problems.
Go what?
Teething problems.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, these are obviously just our opinions. I'm sure there's people out there that are absolutely loving it. And if you are, more power to you. I love it. Let us know in the comments too if you guys feel the same way. Are me and Cap, just like crazy? I tweeted out this a while ago and it seemed like a lot of people were kind of feeling similar. So again, let us know in comments. Talk to us in the comments. Let us know what you think about the current Cap run. But for all of you out there, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And also head on over to bcwsupplies.com and use code Sons of Mjolnir, and that will get you 10% off all your bags, boards, anything you need to collect. We have you covered because remember, if you collect, you must protect. So again, that code is Sons of Mjolnir, Mjolnir. Go get yourself a good discount. Go protect your books. And I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you stay hydrated. I hope your stacks are fat. And we will see y'all next time.